Today we're giving 7 more of our Paradox starters their final evolution. I've done my best to fit the third stage into the already established lines, and in my opinion, I've succeeded. Our first evolution for today is for Mossy Cliff. We already decided in which direction we wanted to go for this line, swapping the grass type for a ground one. This meant that we had to figure out a way to change the tree on Torterra's back into something that fits his new typing better. My idea for this was to convert a tree into rocky mountains instead. While there were suggestions to incorporate waterfalls or small Pokemon into the design, it was important to me to maintain a size that would be feasible within the games. However, I might be able to do something with that in the lore department. I do think the concept of it being huge is awesome, so I decided to make his tongue emulate a waterfall, which would A, fit the mountain look, and B, reference real life turtle tongues that bathe in fish by pretending to be a worm. We also added in a bit of moss onto his back to give him an overgrown ancient aesthetic. I did hesitate on his colors. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for regular Torterra's color palette or if I wanted to use the colors we used for Mossy Cliff. In the end we decided to go for the last option and use the regular Torterra colors for his shiny. Striding Heels, the Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon is rarely seen moving, but when it does, the very ground quivers beneath its weight. As a measure of camouflage, it entices smaller Pokemon, posing as a source of water, only to ensnare them with its powerful jaws. Scientists believe that this Pokemon never stops growing, and legends say that every mountain has one of these guys under them. I am very happy with the end result of this guy. I really like how we implemented snapping turtle aspects into the design. The second evolution will be for Iron Braids. Just like the first 2 pieces we did for this line, we didn't have to make too many changes. We did have to make sure that we gave the right areas the lights, so we wouldn't ruin the color palette. The biggest changes we made were the rubber patch on the middle of her body, the metallic flippers, and we decided to make her hair pink to fit our fairy psychic type. We then put in the colors, which basically stayed the same as the regular form, but with the pink hair instead of the blue one. Iron Siren, the Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon has many legends written about it. Some depict it as a guiding presence, leading lost divers to safety by telepathically soothing their minds amidst the depths of the ocean. Conversely, other tales cast a darker shadow, as sailors bewitched by its haunting melodies find themselves forever lost at sea. The veracity of these legends remain elusive, yet recent discoveries of abandoned ships lend credence to their existence. I do think this piece works as a future form, but I don't think it's my best one yet. Up next is the evolution for Barbaric Thorn. It was quite difficult to come up with a good design for this Pokemon. This was the case because we went for a scorpion tail for the previous designs, and I wasn't really sure how to implement it into this one as well. We eventually settled on a blade on the tip of the tail, but I felt like that didn't add enough. This is why I decided to give him blades on the side of his arms to give him a unique way of fighting against his opponents. Just imagine this Pokemon balancing his attack moves with the blades on his arms and tail, followed up by blocking attacks with the shield on his back. I can really imagine how it fluently switches between attacking and defending, almost like Aegislash does. I also made sure to make his shield a bit spikier in order to make him look a bit more feral. We also extended his fur up until the point of it almost looking like a full-grown beard, so he would look more experienced. The color decisions I made were just a slightly darker version of the regular one, and once again, the shading finished up this piece beautifully. Noxious Dagger, the Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon is so large and intimidating that most other species tend to avoid them altogether. Because of this, it rarely has to use the sharp blades to protect himself. He does use these blades in order to hunt down its prey. When his prey has been hit only once, the toxins then instantly paralyze the target, unlike his previous stage. I never really liked the Chespin line, but it definitely got better after I made all of these designs. Even though I know Pokemon would never use my Fakemon in their games, I would love to see this fighting style in a different Pokemon. The fourth evolution is for Iron Kick. For this design I wanted to use a few features of his Gigantamax form. I decided to use the ears because I felt like the first 2 stages didn't capture the flying type enough. I think these ears definitely do give off that typing, and it finally doesn't rely on the lore too much anymore. We also made sure to bring back all the blocky metallic shapes we used on the second stage. I'm talking about making his fur look less organic, because that doesn't sound like a robot as much. We were also able to solve the issue of not being able to add in a rubber patch on the design, since we did have enough space to add it on its belly without it looking too cluttered. I really liked the moment when I put in the colors, since the added black almost made it look like he plays for a different team, as if he's wearing a different jersey. I repeat, that Paradox Pokemon. This high-flying ace has incredible aerial mobility with the large boosters in his ear. It loves to show off and bullies other Pokemon by shooting fireballs from above. I know Iron Feet isn't the best name, but I couldn't use the word striker because we've already used it for combustion. I just wasn't able to come up with a better name. I'm sorry guys. The 5th evolution is for Hardened Tutel. This is still one of my favorite lines and I couldn't wait to get started on this one. I found a pose which would work perfectly for the Ankylosaur look we were going for. The pose made it possible to put a lot of emphasis on the tail instead of its body. It did take me a while to get the tail right again, but luckily we eventually made it work. It was then time to tweak the shield. I had to remove his cannons since he isn't a water type anymore. We did this by making his shield more interesting, by making it spiky and adding shackles to make it look like they hold the shield together. We also gave his head the extrusions and made his eyebrows more prominent. Last but not least, we just added some scales onto the design and it was then just time to put in the colors. This was definitely my favorite part while working on this line because it suits the concept so well. But Nick, this isn't how Paradox Pokemon work. I know, but this looks so much better. Better in Beast, that Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon never backs down from a fight. It would do anything to protect his previous stages. The tail of this Pokemon has been proven to be strong enough to smash even the hardest materials into a million pieces. I have decided that this line is perfect. It's okay if you don't agree, but I think it's freaking awesome. Our 6th evolution is for Iron Forge. After the upgrade of the first form, Kulava definitely deserved to get his fitting evolution as well. I wanted to give this design something extra, because otherwise it would have looked too much like the second stage. I tried to do so by making his gloves a bit more blocky, and I thought it would be cool to bring in an entirely new detail. I gave him holes in his chest to make it seem like he would have blazing energy running to the core of his body. I did this because regular Typhlosion already looks like he has this feature, so why not make it clear he has this explosive fire power. We also made some of the rest of his shapes blocky and then just added in the colors. I tried to make the colors a bit more grey, since that fits the robotic theme of course. We also added in yellow into the lighted parts, because it wouldn't really look like flames otherwise. Iron Eruption, the Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon was first designed to monitor volcanic areas where it would normally be too hard for humans to go to. Researchers eventually abandoned this Pokemon due to the amount of fuel it required, leaving them out to die close to the volcanoes. However, Iron Eruption found a new source of fuel, lava. If I had to critique myself, I would probably say that the 3D aspect of the drawing could have been better. I'm talking about the holes in his chest, but I do think the end result still looks sick. For the final evolution for today, we're going to take care of Reptant Poacher. At first I wasn't really sure what to do with this piece, since it's kinda difficult to work with such a slender design. We got over that issue by just falling back onto the things we've learned so far. Just look at the previous stage and start adding those features back into this one as well. By doing this we managed to make his tail a lot thicker, and we added some spikes onto it too. We then brought back the jacket that we gave the second stage, and we also decided to make his cape a lot less streamlined. This really helped to make the design look less like a clothed Pokemon, which Inteleon sort of is. We also figured out that we had to address this issue even more, because I don't think a prehistoric form would have a clothed aesthetic. We fixed this problem by making sure we used a few less colors and by just deleting some details the regular form has. We also brought back the mask and gave his face a few more feral aspects to it. For the colors I wanted to move away from the regular color palette. I still wanted to keep the emo vibe to our design, and the normal colors are just too bright to do that. Creeping Thief, The Paradox Pokemon. The sharp toes of this Pokemon allow it to grip onto any surface to put power behind its step, effectively launching it forward every time. It can adjust its course with the fin on its head, and by grabbing onto obstacles with its tail, it can change direction in a heartbeat. This Pokemon seemingly deploys a hit and run tactic when encountering threats, making it very difficult to hit. The shiny for this piece deserved to fit our lore better than the regular shiny colors would. I decided to go for Dracula colors because I think that fits the dark typing quite well. Okay, these were 7 more final stages. We're getting so close to being done. Let me know which one was your favorite, and goodbye.